When a $1 trillion asset manager dedicates significant resources to fighting a narrative war about its own asset class, that should make every sophisticated allocator stop and ask one question: what's actually in the data rooms? Blackstone has been running what I'd call a PR offensive around private credit. Myth versus fact content, thought leadership pieces, direct rebuttals to critics. On the surface, it looks like investor education. But in finance, when the dominant player gets this defensive, it usually signals something more specific. Pressure is building somewhere, and they know the questions are coming. Here's the analytical frame I'd encourage allocators to use. Treat every myth they're rebutting as a road sign. If Blackstone is addressing liquidity concerns, that tells you liquidity is where scrutiny is sharpest. If they're defending mark-to-market practices, that tells you valuations are under the microscope. The myths they choose to address aren't random. They're a carefully selected list of the vulnerabilities they believe are most credible. The more interesting exercise is mapping the gaps. What questions about private credit are being conspicuously avoided? Correlation to public markets during a real stress event. Covenant-light structures in a rising default environment. Manager dispersion in vintage years that haven't fully played out yet. These aren't fringe concerns. They're the ones institutional allocators on allocation committees are actually asking. For GPs and LPs watching this, the playbook here is simple. Use Blackstone's myth list as your due diligence checklist. If the largest manager in the space is preemptively defending against these specific criticisms, those are exactly the questions you should be pressing every manager on, not just Blackstone. Private credit is still a compelling asset class, but compelling doesn't mean unexamined. The narrative war tells us exactly where to look. I'll link the specific pieces worth reading below.